Okay, I think I'm here. Yeah, I was flickering so bad I couldn't even see the screen. So I did a couple of hard resets and hopefully that cleared it up. I have got to get a new computer apparently. All right, so let's take a look at the next phase of this build. I still got to glue this or sew this part to the neck. I think I'll glue it off camera just so that I don't have to put on the respirator. Um, I thought maybe I could salvage these arms, but let me show you why I think I can't. Um, First of all, I changed the pattern a little bit, but second of all, this one is just falling apart. So I think probably I'd be better off um, getting rid of both of them. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because this fabric is terrible, I don't seem to have any of this pattern, this fabric left. So, but I do have this old, or not so old. It was from another project. Um, Magician's cape, which the material's not too bad. So I thought maybe I would just use that for the arms. But before I do anything, I'm gonna take these off. Oh, I guess I glued them or sewed them. Did I sew? Looks like I sewed them. Wait a second. That'll make it easier. But yeah, this material just deconstructed. Anywhere that it was sewn, it basically just fell apart. So fun. I guess I got to it just in time. Yuck. I could probably just leave all this here. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure it's not glued too. Let me see if the other one's glued. It looks like it's sewn. And this one's falling apart too. Oh my gosh. Which is surprising because my intention was always to take these off and make him some proper arms because these are actually Roberta's old arms. I was rebuilding Roberta and I wanted to get Mayberry done before a convention. And was running out of time and I'm like, I just finished those arms. I'm going to put them on Mayberry because they use the same skin. That one came off pretty well. I guess there's no salvaging these arms. I just don't want to cut these shoelaces. All right, the arms are garbage. You can see how like it just is falling apart. This is the same material that you would use. I think it's called ribbing. And I think it was all I had access to at the time. Hey BJ, how's it going? I'm fixing Mayberry up. So I put a new body on him yesterday, and I'm basically fixing his arms right now. And when that's done, I'll pop off his eyes and his antenna and fix those. And then that'll be 5 out of the 6 done. Okay. What are you working on, BJ? Or is it Hush Hush? How did I do that? It's like I glued it at some point, at least part of it. It's a pretty crusty hand. I think this is even older than Sam's hand. All right. Really crusty. All right, there's one hand. And the other hand. I'm going to cut this real far up because I can see that it's not stitched very well. I'd like to fix that. Oh, look, it's glued. Just for reference, this is what that foam looked like. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is what that foam looked like when I put it into his hand. And this is what it looks like now, 12 years later, 13 years later. What did I do? Just throw some hot glue in here and call it a day? All right, there's the other hand. I think I may have mentioned this, but my newest Kermit is almost done. Just need to order the eyes. Cool. Where do you get your eyes from? How many Kermits have you built? Okay, so those two arms are there. I want to try and get the actual hands out of the way. Left and a right. Let me see if I can salvage these. Yep. This one was the fourth. Each one looks better than the previous. When do you think you'll stop? When they're perfect or when you get to 10? And is there a specific Kermit that you're trying to match, or are you just kind of taking an average of the ones that you like the best? There's so much glue on this thing. I'm gonna have to repaint it anyway, so. Modern day Kermit. So not the real one. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. I think I have a Gonzo replica in me. Like I'm gonna make one of those eventually, but the one I would make is the one from the Muppet movie with the plumber's outfit. And the scooter I'd make would be from the Muppet Show. So the green jacket and all that with all the patches. Not that I have any plans to make either one, but. All right. I saw a real 70s scooter in person a couple years ago, and it was shocked at how small his head was. That's true. They're all that way. They're all small, much smaller than you think they are. I think they made Gonzo bigger now. When they made him kind of a star, they may have gone back, but when they made him like the the star of Muppets from Space, I think they made him a little bit bigger. But I think the original was pretty small. I think they've all kind of gotten bigger. Maybe not Kermit, but there's this mentality of the studios to say, oh, they've got to be bigger. They're not that small. Because, they know better. Those are done. So I need to get more wire, and I've got to get more this tubing. I have plenty of the this is 20 gauge. I have plenty of the 20, but I need more 18. As long as the camera is close enough, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I know that's the truth. Believe me, I know that, but the powers that be, the producers or the people with the money, always think they know more. So I made a little discovery when it came to making these brads last night, because I had to make a bunch of these. I need 6 of them. Sometimes I need 8 of them because I messed something up. But there's 5. I need 1 more. So, hey Dave, what's the tubing type and size again? So it's vinyl tubing. It's like you would use in your fish tank. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm gonna go buy some more tonight, so I can get that specifics for you tomorrow. What I did is I took a rod in there with me and just fed them each in until I found one that fit. This is 3/32, and I believe this is 3/32 inside diameter. And that's, let me see, it says something on the side here. And it just, I've seen it clearer. This stuff was orange for whatever reason. Well, the writing on it just says the date. I guess it was manufactured July 17th, 2023. So if you don't pick one up that was made on that exact date, it's not the right stuff. No, it's, I don't know. Okay, so what I found was, let me get all 6 of these things. 1, 2, 3. I made 6. What happened to the 6th one? I'm sure I'll find it someday. Oh, there it is. Okay. So what I found last night while I was had to make 12 of these things, is if I just put them all and line them all up, I can bend them all at the same time. Since they don't really have to be precise. Now I have all of the ones I need. Do you ever use speed bump style mouth grips? Something for the fingers to curl over a bit. Yeah, I did that on Ralph. And it was kind of necessity. I usually do it more on the bottom. The bottom. In fact, I think I have one right here. Use them on the bottom plate. So this is this was in one of the Ralph prototypes that I had. I tore that one apart last night because I thought I was going to be able to use this mouth plate in something else. Turned out it was the wrong size, but this is this has the little speed bump in here for me to grab onto, and then there's one down here for the thumb, although it's a little loose. But you can see how that works. Hi, how are you? Wow. But I don't do them that way. It's all kind of based on what works for the puppet. Okay, so I need to get the drill. Put it to this. Do the Ralph? What are you looking at? That one? Hey, what are you looking at? I was trying to think because you wanted me to do the Miss Piggy again. I was trying to remember how I did it. It was like, I gotta do that first. Oh, bonjour. Oh, bonjour. It is I, Miss Piggy, star of stage, screen, and international superhero-dom. Something like that. And if you disagree with me, I will cut you in half. I'll cut you in half. Yeah, I can't quite get to the end. Again, I had no idea that I could get that close even. Again, it's no Scooter. My uncle who owns this theater sure isn't going to like this. There's that one. And then there's like disguising their car so they won't be recognized. That's another one. But then when he got older, when he was like in Muppets Take Manhattan, he got a little gruffer. I'm trying to think how that one went. Line. No. Yeah, I can't think of a line he said in Muppets Take Manhattan. The only one I remember is saying goodbye. Saying goodbye. Why is it sad? Why not remember the good times we've had? Yeah, it's not quite wrong. It's close. And one. Sorry, this isn't particularly interesting here. I should check my old feeds and see if there's a like certain days I tend to do more impersonations. Other days I'm more grumpy. I think Tuesdays are the day I usually tell stories. Because when you do the piggy voice with Roberta, wanted to see if it would match her appearance. I don't know. Let me see. I think I can kind of do it now. I can't tell you how weird it is to have access to these characters now. Having not had them for quite some time. Okay, I'm just going to basically be able to say that same thing. All right, here we go. Oh, bonjour! It is I! It is I, Wonder Pig! Star of stage, screen, and international superhero-dom. If you don't agree with me, you can I'll cut you in half. I don't know that it goes right with it. Again, I said that stuff so much. That's basically all I can say is her. This chair is just out of control. Oh, there we go. Okay, those are both ready. All right, now I'm gonna mark them on here. Sorry, I just want to make sure I have a left and a right. Yeah, again, my ex did a great Roberta. Like she had it figured out. I don't know that I'll ever use her to do it, but she was really good at it. If I just did that Miss Piggy voice with her, that I wouldn't last 5 minutes without somebody saying, "Oh my God, you sound just like Miss Piggy," or whatever. You sound too close to Miss Piggy. I mean, I'm already tempting fate with Mayberry sounding so much like Scooter. Did he do voices? I've never seen his Stan Winston. He was always saying he was going to give me one of the copies of it, but I never saw it. He used to do all kinds of crazy voices in the shop. He might still be on this feed. There was kind of the every puppeteer I ever met in the shop kind of had their standard Muppet monster voice, which is kind of a Rolf type voice. Hey, how's it going? Here I am. This thing that they would anytime anybody picked up any monster, they would do that voice. To the point where I never wanted to do that voice. I was like I'm going to be different than everybody else. Must be why I work so much. The other voice I heard a lot was almost like a Dr. Phil Von Neuter voice that people would do. Of course, my voices were always, actually, I was so shy, I probably didn't even do voices. Here's one. Keep losing where the hole was. I should probably replace out this foam. This is so cumbersome. I don't feel like this is getting any tighter. I think there was too much slack when I started it. Okay, I'm going to start over with this one. Whereas now it's stuck. I feel like this is one of those things I'm going to be wrestling with all night. Boy, that was a mess. Okay. Dr. Phil Van Neuter's voice really fried Brian's vocal cords. They had to do. Okay. Phil Fletcher said on his Puppeteers podcast with Adam and Cam that a lot of his voices were rips from the Meet the Feebles movie. Phil said that that's his favorite film. Yeah, I mean the voices that I always go to are like my version of impressions that I'll do, like I'll do Columbo or something, and that's kind of the starting point where I'll do something, or like Eddie is like Frasier, kind of a Frasier thing going on. Stuff. Oh wow. So Cassidy said Dr. Phil Van Neuter's stuff in one day, and Brian couldn't perform for 3 days. Wow. Well, it is. He's kind of yelling, and it's the back of his throat. I can see why that would take a lot out of it, the performance. Let me just try. I feel like those those drilled areas were too far away from the tube. Oh no, that's fine, Cassidy. I do that all the time. I'm kind of known for me making mistakes when I'm typing something. It's a good way for people to know that you're getting an authentic message from me if it's full of typos. This email's way too coherent. It's obviously a forgery. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Camilla, my pet. Yeah, it's just kind of the back of the throat. I mean, not that I do a great that one, but I'm hopping mad. Yeah, it's kind of just the back. I don't know that you're putting a whole lot of air through it. I know Yosemite Sam used to just mess up Bill Blank's vocal cords to the point where when he was older, he couldn't even do it anymore. I think he had his son do it or somebody else. Yeah, Digit's voice is pretty. That's pretty much just Dave Goals' regular voice, isn't it? Okay, 2 down. More to go. This thing's gonna be so full of holes that it doesn't hold anything in place. Stigmata. It doesn't help. I can't see anything either. Okay, that's one back together. Okay. Ouch. Take the pin out. Okay, so that'll get glued back together, and then the hand will go back together. I'll try and finish this other hand before I do all that. It's a gravelly part that hurts my throat if I do it too long. One of the characters, Doc Harley, has a bit of gravel. So is one of my Santas that I use on Cameo at Christmas. I'm trying to think. I mean, when I do, Columbo's probably the graveliest thing. Like, just one more thing, sir. I mean, that's not real gravelly. It's, I was just wondering, It's just basically off the back of my throat. So I don't know if that's really damaging anything. Could be. I was talking to the missus the other day, and a little bit of C-3PO. That was another one that completely caught me off guard, that I actually do a decent C-3PO. Oh my. Oh. Hello there. It is I, C-3PO. C-3PO. Human cyborg relations. It's not great, but it's doable. When I need a healthy breakfast, I turn to C-3POs. And you should too. Can you doc? Oh yeah. It's a very interesting story, future boy. So who's president of the United States in 1985? Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan. Yeah, I'm a little off of that. I can do Cruge. That's the one I usually do. It's like which is also Christopher Lloyd. I come all this way for the power of Genesis, and what do I find? A weakling human, a Vulcan boy, and a woman. And a woman. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I watched that movie. See, in everyday life, I do voices all the time, but when I get in front of somebody to do it, forget about it. I'm just terrible. I lose it so fast. Really, you think there's Christopher Lloyd in Digit? He seems a little bit calm for that. There was some discussion on the old Muppet Central forums at one point about doing Muppet impersonations, and one of them, I can't remember who said it. It made sense to me at the time. Said that if you really want to do a good Bert, learn how to do Frank Oz, and once you can do kind of a decent Frank Oz, then all the other voices should kind of fall into place. That was messed up too. No, not too bad. Well, Back to the Future would have been just a couple years old when they did the Jim Henson Hour. So he probably was pretty prevalent at the time. Oh my gosh. I know it's there. I'm going to have to drill into my finger. The good news is this is the last of these puppets that I have to redo. There we go. So I won't be having to work with these ancient materials anymore. I'm doing all this just because I hate those flags. Well, you're probably the biggest authority on Digit that I know, or Digit, I guess. Phil Van Neuter. I'll take your word for it. If you've ever seen Puppet Up, it seems like Brian's go-to is Phil Van Neuter's voice. I think he uses that for like the crab puppet that he does. At least it sounds that way to me. My worry is that these aren't going to be removable at all because this material that I used for the hand years ago is kind of spongy, but it seems to be holding already right now. So. Okay, there we go. All right, let me get rid of some of this stuff. So I need to make sure I do not get get any of this fabric in the glue. I want to make sure that that's all pretty protected. I finally figured out why all my scissors are magnetized. I've been hanging them on this magnetic thing so I don't keep losing them, and it just dawned on me today that might be why they're all magnetized. I wonder if the digit puppet even still exists. I think he was only used in the Jim Henson Hour, right? I think we've had this conversation before. Oh yeah, but that was right in the same time period. Put together. I mean, we didn't see him again in like Muppets from Space or something, or the ABC Muppet Show. That was close. So close. Did I get some glue on him? No, I did not. Look. That's such a weird episode of the Muppet Show. I mean, of the Cosby Show. Wasn't it Clifford and Von Neuter and Gonzo? Were there a couple others in that episode? All right, he's back together. Put his hand back on. There's glue on there, but I don't think it's from me just doing it. I think it's old glue. Look at these wonderful stitches I have in there. Yeah, I can see that. See, I would think it would be like a better pairing might be Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. I wonder why they didn't do that. Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Van Neuter. I thought they would be an interesting dynamic. See, the odd couple I always wanted to see were the two robots from the Black Hole. Disney's The Black Hole. Old Bob and Vincent. That's Felix and Oscar. I thought that would be fun. Okay. Just had that too. Just want to get these hands together and the arms back on. And then maybe just deconstruct the whatchamacallit, the eyes and the antenna today. Because I've got to paint both tonight if I'm going to put them on tomorrow. And then he'll be done, which is great. Yeah, I know Felix and Oscar. When I was growing up, I was Felix and my brother was Oscar, according to my mom. And I was Bert and my brother was Ernie. No, I've done it. Well, I should be okay. I tied a knot. I just didn't tie a very good one. I can't catch a break. It doesn't help that I can't see it. Oh, maybe I should get some new thread. Maybe that would help me. So we got here. Yeah, if I ever bought a candle. Again, I don't think of ever needing any wax until I get here and I'm doing a live stream. It's the farthest thing from my mind. I don't even think I have a crayon in this house. Oh, come on. A lot of this thread is left over from the old thread, so maybe I can chop a lot of that off. Maybe it looks like he's been doing heroin or something. think I might have used black Sharpie on this puppet when I built him originally too, which is kind of a no-no. I can kind of see it bleeding through a little bit. Fortunately, a lot of this arm's up under that sleeve. Okay. One down. There's one arm. Okay, it's a dopamine boost when you reach for one of your newly. Oops. My grandmother would run her needle and thread through her hair, and the oils from her hair would work just like wax. Well, I don't have enough hair to run the run a needle through. I think it's a dopamine boost when you reach for one of your newly updated Mayberry characters. And is it? Yes. Slip it on your hand. The smoothness of it, the quality difference, the knowing that a pinned on arm or eyes isn't going to fall off must be invigorating and satisfying. All right, now it's time for okay, I'm not sure what you're going for there, Cassidy. So I think it's what's interesting to me about having the Melonpool puppets. It's not so much that because these are various stages of complexity. I mean, I probably was due to rebuild Mayberry completely. I just didn't feel like it. I mean, it's a lot of work to build one of these things and to make something that may or may not see the light of day. Didn't make much sense, but getting the puppet itself back together was appealing to me. Like especially the Ralph when I finally got around to rebuilding that Ralph after it being being stolen and everything. It was like that was definitely a dopamine rush that finally a kind of a traumatic period of my life had at least some sort of resolution to it, because I didn't realize it had been hanging over my head like it had been. And Roberta, her head's been on the wall there for at least 3 years. I think I did it right, built that much of it just when I moved into this apartment, and then I don't know what happened. I got to a stopping point and then never went back to it. But that one was good to get done too. And Ralphie, I think that's only the second puppet I've ever built of him. I had a poser that I made of him at one point, but I hadn't really built that puppet before. Every puppet I make, I think of some way to improve it later. I'm pretty happy with those iMechs, though, that I put in Ralph. It makes me want to rebuild Eddie. Is what it makes me want to do, because I've gotten a lot of play out of that character, and there were things I wanted to do with it that I kind of couldn't figure out at the time, and now I have some new ideas on how to do it. Like, I'd like to give him moving eyelids. I'd like to give him a mouth plate that I can actually get my hand into, because I have to operate Eddie like this, which is why his upper lip goes up and down so much, because I can't. His muzzle's only that wide. So I'd like to reorganize him in such a way, and I think the way I could do it is I could actually bring his mouth palate back a little bit, so my hand would actually be farther back in it, and that would allow me to make it a little bit wider. Because I'm starting to get arthritis in this finger, and it kind of hurts me to do it. Okay, so those arms are back together. Let me get out my whatchamacallit, magician's cape here. I think all I have to do move this red. Yeah, that Mayberry on heroin's never going to happen. But I couldn't help but notice how many like dark streaks there were all over his arms. It's just because it's been, it's an old puppet. I probably could clean him up a little bit. Maybe get one of those Tide sticks. Okay, what did Laura say here? I find that making puppets is great therapy for me, especially after I've gotten the how to and what to use figure out. I'll tell you what I get the most out of is figuring out shapes and how to build them out of flat foam. That's what I enjoy the most about building puppets, is figuring that stuff out. And then finishing a puppet. I think I've gotten over the whole idea of, it used to be I'd finish a puppet and show it to people, and they're like, okay, now put on a show. And I never knew what to do. I always felt very self-conscious about it. All right. So there's no stretch to this fabric at all. It's just this kids kids cape. This might be the end of this video. I have no idea what happened to my pattern. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Oh, here it is. All right. So I'm going to sew up this seam right here, or this I need about that much of it. Like I said, I don't have any of the fabric I used originally, but it was pretty awful fabric, so I'm not too broken up about that. Hopefully this stuff won't fray as bad as the other stuff does. Okay, it's out of there. But I'm going to take advantage of this already being pressed. I'm currently building a puppet mechanism out of thin pieces of white oak. Huh, that's interesting. You mentioned rebuilding Eddie about 20 times. I think that's going to be refreshing to get that rebuild done. He's a great character and use him quite a bit, right? Yeah, that's true. I mentioned it a lot because I think about it a lot, but honestly, what I really want to build is I want to build Nelson from Mongrels. That's what I really want to build. But in telling myself if I rebuild Eddie instead, I can kind of get that same like thing and not have to worry about infringing on something. Like I really worry about that, but using somebody else's character. But I really want to build a Nelson. That would be fun. If you haven't seen Mongrels, definitely check it out. Yeah, I think you lost me, Cassidy, but that's okay. What I'd like to see out of the Muppets is I'd like to see a full-on Pigs in Space movie. I think that would be fun. So the question was, when making a buck to use with Foss shape, are there certain things I should steer clear of? Well, my extensive research, I've only done it a couple of times, but what I would use is that the flooring you can get at Harbor Freight, the garage flooring, the foam EVA flooring, because it seems to be a little bit more rigid than L200 and other foams. But the one thing that I found was if you have any undercuts at all, where once it shrinks down a little bit, you can't get the form off. The way around that is to put a seam up the back of the buck that you can kind of either pin or just set in place while you're heat forming it, and then you can bring it apart to get the Foss shape off. I just used up the last of my Foss shaper I would show you, but I can show you the buck real quick. So here's Roberta's buck. And originally I had this all glued in the back, like so. Like so. And I couldn't get the Foss shape off of it because of this undercut here. So what I did was I slid up the back like so, and then I thought I was going to have to pin it in place, but really once the Foss shape was on it, it kind of kept it in its form. And then when I hit it with the heat, I could it was in shape, and then just to get it off, I could kind of curl it up like this, and I could pull it off. That was helpful when I was doing the Foss shape buck. I would also use a steamer as opposed to a heat gun. I did try a heat gun with it, and it tended to burn it, but I think it also will make the barge that you use to make the buck soften, and you don't want to do that. You want to. The nice thing about the steam is it seems to react with the Foss shape without reacting with the barge or the contact cement. That's the only thing I learned about that. So. Okay. Oh yeah, I was. And I may not, this may not work. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to track down some other black fabric to use. But if it does work, then I don't have to buy anything for this puppy. And with his Star Trek history, it seems kind of appropriate for him to have this really cheap fabric for his outfit. Went to all that trouble of finding a piece. There it is. Finding a piece with a fold already in it, and then I can't find the fold. Oh, this is really falling apart. Falling apart quick. You know what? Let me try this again. I think I'm going to double fold it. Have I mentioned lately that I don't know what I'm doing? So I'm going to fold it. I'm going to fold it over again so I don't have a lot of fraying going on. And I probably should press it as well, but why start now? It's weird because some of it seems like it was already pressed and the other doesn't. And I didn't backstitch it because I'm gonna well, you'll see. You'll see why. Oh, that's really cool. Well, check it out later. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work. Laura? Did you get those pins? Those little clips? I think you said you were ordering them the other day. Laura, yes, I got them and I ordered a steam machine. A friend gifted me some Foss shape. Can't wait to start experimenting. Yeah, I had it for about 2 years before I experimented with it, and I ran through everything I had in the last month. I think I ended up buying some more today, so because I used up the last of what I had on Mayberry's new body yesterday. I kind of want to see if I can make a hat. Not for me, but like for Puppet. Okay. All right, here goes nothing. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that, Cassidy. Cassidy says, I think Dr. Phil Von Neuter was the most attractive Muppet mad scientist. I'm kind of a Bunsen Honeydew guy myself. I think he's... I don't know if I'd want to meet Dr. Von Neuter in a dark alley. Laura probably cringes with every stitch I make. There's that one. Okay. Hopefully this works because I don't want to have to buy any fabric. Okay. And I have to figure out how I'm gonna. Sorry, I wasn't showing you guys anything. All right, so there's the two sleeves. I cut them out. I need to think about this for a second. So this arm's good. Boy, that's. Let me just fix this real quick. There's really no reason to fix this, but I don't want a bunch of stuffing falling out when I don't want it to. You know, as opposed to all those times you want stuffing to come out. So I might as well fix it now while I can. Try that again. I don't need very much thread. I just need some thread. All right. Sorry, I didn't want that to fall apart on me. All right, so this is going to be on there like so. So I need a little hole right there. So hopefully this hole doesn't cause everything to come apart. Okay. Boy, I can feel the cheapness of this fabric. No, that's cool. I understand that. I mean, I definitely have a thing for building robots. I did a comic years ago where Ralph was at a mad scientist convention and came across like Bunsen and Beaker and the Mystery Science Theater, Dr. Clayton Forrester and Frank, and I think Doc and Marty. I had a bunch in there. Ugh, I just pulled it through. Let's try that again. Yeah, I know. And I have some. I guess I could try it. Do you have to wait for it to dry? I mean, the one thing about this black fabric is it shouldn't pick up stains very badly. My hope is that once it's turned right side out, I won't have to worry about all the fraying. That's my hope. You know what I have is another one of my handy dandy Well, that worked. There we go. That worked pretty well. Actually, I kind of like the way that arm looks. All right, one down, one to go. This is why I don't make characters with more than one set of arms. Like, no bugs in my crew. All right. Where's the other arm? I love that I use more kitchen items in my puppet builds than I do in the kitchen. All right, that was pretty easy. All right. Let's get these arms on there. Oh, I still haven't sewn up the... Now. I just realized I haven't sewn up the top of the neck yet. I think I should just glue it. I think that's what I did on Roberta. Okay, let me get these arms out of the way. All right, so if you look down in here, that's just the Foss shape there. I'm going to put a little bit of glue along the inside of here and the inside of here, then just fold it over and let it dry. I meant to do this yesterday. Got to make sure I don't lay it in the glue. Oh, you guys can't see any of this. I think this is the way I did it on Roberta, too. Yeah, this is working pretty well. Okay. I need to get, here are my little washers from leftover from that other. Boy, I've been doing so much puppet work lately. I really pretty much blown through all these clips. I think I bought 36 of them. All right. So here's arms. They're going to go on right in front of that little seam there. Now I used a soldering iron the last time I did it, and I burned a big hole in his arm, in his body. Come on. Oh, come on. There's one of them. Just in front, right? Yep. All right, so there's his body. And again, I'm going to be taking this all off tomorrow when I pop his eyes off. Oops. Put his head on backwards. All right. So, oops. Something happened. There we go. All right, so he's back together. After you use the flux grease brush with the glue, do you clean the brush with something? I'm not sure what you're asking. Oh, you mean when I was doing the when I was using the glue? You mean the little glue brush that I was using? Um, those are I think they're called acid brushes. I think they're called acid brushes, and I buy them at Harbor Freight for I think they're 100 of them for $5, maybe 50 of them for $5, and then I just throw them away after I've used them once. So yeah, he's pretty good. And once I fix these, the antenna is what's bothering me most right now. But once I fix the antenna and paint these eyes, I think I'll be in business. This guy's done. And again, he has basically Scooter's voice. My uncle who owns this theater sure isn't going to like this. He doesn't really sound like that. It's like, hi, how's it going? Here I am. Hi, everybody. Maybe I'll look down the barrel of the camera. Chase asked, do you have any tips on characters that would be good for a puppet? I want to make one, but I'm stumped. I suggest using either. I have a pattern on my website that's free, and I know other people have cheap puppet patterns. Has the glorified sock puppet, and that basically makes like a Kermit the Frog. Build something like that. I mean, Adam Krutinger's site, Puppet Nerd, also had the swoof pattern, which I believe was free. Build any of those, and you'll see. You may not have a character off of that, but at least you'll learn how to build it well enough to decide if this is for you. I think those are the best. Yeah. Well, there's a delay, but that just hides my terrible lip sync. Let me see if I can do it. Okay. Hi, how's it going? Here I am. That's probably the other way. Hi, how's it going? Here I am. All right, guys. Oh, I'm going to get off of here. But I think tonight I'm going to hack off those antennas and the hack off those antenna and those eyes. And then tomorrow I'm going to pop on the new eyes on the antenna, and then he'll be done. And then onto your favorite part. Maybe I won't start him until Monday or Tuesday. Like I said, I'm on design. I'm on deadline for another project, so I may just pop off on Thursday and not come back till Monday or Tuesday. But I'm gonna start building that hamster, and that'll be the last of the bunch. Sammy.